I have sent a sample file. So you guys, did you have a chance to download it?
Yeah, we have downloaded, sir.
Okay. So you have any issues with that? Or
I actually haven't checked it.
Same, sir.
so do you have any files with you so that you can practice with that? Like any AutoCAD files with you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
With you, sir, Mr. Vijay, you have AutoCAD
Yes,
files with
sir.
that, like some easy
Yes,
files
sir.
that you can share, or you can like I can as if Revit is installed in your system. So we will have a live demonstration system after today's session. Maybe we will practice.
Okay.
You can share your screen and show me how
Okay.
you can align the model, align the AutoCAD drawing and start working on that. Before that, let's start today's session. So today we'll see three concepts, that is in place modeling, room and area, how to create a room in the building, and also how to calculate the area of the particular building. So before that, let's move to our template. So this is what a drawing area. And last session we've seen how to create ceilings and also how to create railings and all. Now let's say we have a wall like this, and so imagine this as a room. So it's traveling from level 1 to level 2. And if you want to have a like a furniture, you can just place, select from its catalog and just place it. So in Revit, there are three types of things, which elements which you can place that are not there. Like for example, uh, this is a wall. This is repetitive. Every project has a wall. So they have placed this wall command. This is a furniture, which is it may not be there in every project, but in your company or in your design, you are using it for every project. So what you're going to do, you are making it as a family. Okay, but there is something, some requirement. Let's say, for example, this is a room, and we are having a requirement wherein we are going to convert this only this end into a table with the support of this wall and this wall. So this is a special requirement, and this is only applicable for this project only. So instead of creating a separate family, because which is not going to be useful for me for other projects, what I'll do is I'll just take something called in place family, or in place, here we call it in place model in place. You can create that particular shape over here. This is also applicable for, say, facade. You're doing a facade. You can just go to any elevation and create the facade of your type. I'll just drag it over here. You can create the facade over here, and that facade can have its material and all. So you cannot create facades as a family because they are unique, and also they change from project to project, right? Such facades can be created in model in place. So we have three options, that is, one is family, which is a permanent one. You can change its dimensions in any type, but you have to create the families only when you are confident, or when you know that these families are going to be useful for multiple projects. So the next thing is we are going to create something called model in place, wherein the facades or any furniture, let's say I'll just go to this model in place. As soon as I go to model in place, you can see a reference image. Here in this image, they are having a column. Okay. And they want to use that column as a stand for them to create a furniture type, wherein they have a chair, and that chair can be used with that furniture. So that is a special requirement, and you cannot make a family for that because it may change to other column, or the dimensions or the sizes may change. So the best thing, or the best concept to use in such cases is model in place. There is one more concept that is called massing. This is applicable only when we have something like a unique structure of Zaha Hadid kind of buildings. So unique structures like let's say I'll just show. So there may be architects who are trying to experiment. So they are building buildings like these. These structures, say these structures are not possible without typical tools. For such instances, we are going for massing. So these are the three modeling tools we normally use to create any unique shape. The first thing is we are going to create a family. Family creation we'll see in another class. So these are the families which you have placed, right? You can create your own families. This we'll see in some other class. So that is one way. The next method is to create something in place. That is model in place. The third thing is massing. So we are going to use this model in place when we have a unique demand for the exterior facades or some furniture kind of thing. So when are we going to use massing? Massing is used only when the structure is outside and also the structure is unique in shape and you want to control its dimension in an appropriate way. In such cases, we are going to use the massing. Now let's see how we can place model in place. I want to create a furniture here. Let's say this is a furniture that I've already placed. Now I want to create one more furniture. I'll just go for component, go for model in place. Here it will just give a dialog box what you want to create. In this case, if you know what you are going to create, you can just go for it. If you don't know, you can just go for generic model, which is not classified into any category. But here I want to create a furniture. Okay. You can name your furniture. After naming, these are the tools that are used or that help me to create my shape. So have you any of you have used SketchUp or AutoCAD 3D?
Yes, sir.
So you might know these commands, right? The sweep and extrusion. Extrusion is nothing but push pull.
Yeah.
These are just modification of those commands. Let's see each and every command. So no, we'll see this later, but let's go for extrusion first. I'm just creating the supports, pillar supports for the column furniture first. So I'll just take some circle and this is maybe I'm going for rough dimensions. First, let's click it and you have to see this in 3D, right? You can go to 3D here or you can, as I've selected, you can just select it and go to 3D. You can see one thing you have to notice whenever you are going in model place, you cannot select any other element. Here we have the walls and the doors. If you have any other component other than this model in place, you cannot select them. Here, I'm just going for any elevation so that I know what the height I want to put this particular circle. I know the elevation is right. First, I've created the elevation. Then for me now to do is I have to create or I have to copy this. Here, I'm not going to use this copy. You can use this copy. I can mark the center, give some dimension. Sorry. 1 second. This point 2000. So we have 4 supports. These are the supports. Just imagine the number support. I can make it realistic also, but this doesn't have any property, so it's just plain figure. Now let me go to level 1 again. I'll just go for create again. I'll just take extrusion this time also. Make a square out of it. I can take any reference, but I'm just eyeballing right now like this. And then you can just give a fillet for the curves. I'll just take this fillet on. Something like this. So I'll just like for the sake of this project, let's say I'm going only for 2 sides. So I'll just finish off. Now we have something like this. This is not perfect yet. Let's go to 3D and check where it is. So you can just drag in the direction you want, either up or down. I'll just take it in the upward direction and take like this. Right? That's this whole thing, which is in place. So the thickness and all you can customize something like this. And if you're satisfied, you can just finish model. Here, if you want to give a material to this particular thing, you can just select that. You can go for material, click on these three dots, just select any material that is there by default, or you can create your own material like this. And 4 columns, if you want to give material, you can just select 4, control. Everything same element can be selected, and the same material if so, like this. So after you're done with this, just finish it. So we have our model. Now this is a family. It may not behave like a family, but you can see it has all the properties of a family, but it is not shown like here in edit type because you're not going to give any properties for this. For that, you have to create a family. We use only these type of model in places wherein that doesn't require any adjustments or that doesn't shouldn't be copied to somewhere and it has changes. But if you want to do such kind of thing, like when you place this, it has properties because it is made as a family. This, whereas this is not made as a family and this can be adjusted anytime, even after creation like this. But for this, it's not possible. This has also multiple admin or functionalities. Say I am going to go for any beef and I want to like have a facade kind of thing. I can just go for model in place. Here, this time I'll just go for generic model. And now you can just go for extrusion. You can just go for pick a plane. So this is where you want to draw a plane. So this is what my plane is. Here I can just give my random shape, something like this. Finish it off. Now go to 3D and you can see you have a shape. This can be edited as well. Just go for edit extrusion. Now I'll go to the same elevation. Let's say this I can remove like this. Like this random shape. You can give it and you go to 3D, you can see has to take that shape. Even after completing, you can adjust its depth or its elongation like this. Yeah, even in this case also, if you want to add a material like this, you can just add a material in this material category. So let's say I'm going for a brick template. You can see I have a brick type of cladding. So whenever you see a facade that is built in Revit, that is done in this manner. So there are multiple ways or multiple tools for this that we'll see when we go to create a family creation. Meanwhile, if you have time, you can explore what and just show some samples. What these are, what a blend does and what revolve does, what seed does and what seed blend does and what void are. Okay, extrusion we've seen. I'll just show a sample of blend. Blend is nothing but if you are having two different shapes for the same object and the top shape is different from bottom shape. Let's say you are having a square at the top, okay, and square at the bottom. you are going to have a circle at the top like this, which is a random shape and which is not aligned together. Finish it off, it will form a 3D object for you. Yeah. And you can extend this, and this has unlimited range. It's not going to end anywhere. I'll just make it. You can see that to unlimited range, but what it's going to maintain is going to maintain the top shape and bottom shape. Whatever that is there, that is going to be blended in between. So in order to maintain this shape, no matter what it takes or whatever the shape it should take for that given height, it will take. So that is what our blending does. Let's generic model again. So this is what blending does. So let's see what revolve does. So for revolve, you have to give a profile first, and then you have to turn a shape for it. So I'll just make it here. I'll go to any elevation first. So here I'll take revolve command, pick a plane. I want this to be in this plane. Now I am going to give a shape in the boundary line. So that shape, you can use these tools again to create that shape. First, let me draw a boundary line like this. Then you can take the axis line. So this shape is going to take this axis line. As soon as I finish it off, you can see I have created a unique geometry like this. Right. So if you are having a like a unique pillar shape or unique structure, which you can map a single geometry and give it a axis, that geometry will be formed via that axis. So that is what your revolve is. Sweep is also similar to revolve, but you have to give first a path. Let's say I'm going to give a path like this. Now, after finishing your path, just finish it. Now you have to give a profile for this path. So this path, imagine this as a line. So you have to go to elevation where this path is visible for you. Okay, this is the path. It's visible for me. You can create whatever the shape you want to this path. Just you can create a profile, or you can just give any random profile here like this, or you can just give your own profile if you're having profile. So what it does is basically this profile will take the shape of this path. So what happens here is, so this is what the shape, this is what the path we have given. This shape will be traveled towards the whole path. I'll just give one more example for this because it cannot be clear. So I'll just go for architecture again, component, model in place. I'll go for generic model. I'll go for sweep. So I'll go for sketch path. Or if you have a previously selected path, you can go for pick path and just go for sketch path because I want to, let's say I'm going to sketch a circular path like this. And this circular path should be of rectangular shape. Then I'll just first finish the path. After finishing the path, I'll go to elevation where it is clear. This particular shape is clear. Wherever it's visible, like this is the point, it is there. Or you can go to 3D as well. Like this is what here it's there, right? Wherever it's like pinpoint visible to you. Now, after going to the profile, select profile, or you can just go for load profile or edit profile, whatever you have to do, you can do. Here are the default profile sketches that are available. But if you want to go for edit profile or if you want to create your own profile, you can also sketch like this. So this profile is going to follow the path we have created. So this circular profile is going to create or going to travel the path we have already chosen. As soon as I finish, you can see it has taken the shape. So this is also again useful for adding our unique furnitures that we use. We may use this type of sweep. So there is one more concept, that is sweep blend. So what does sweep blend do is, sweep blend will just create the same thing but with two different shapes. Here we have given only one shape, right? Let's go to sweep blend. First, again, you have to sketch the path. This time I just draw like this. Now finish it off. Okay, curvature is not allowed in sweep blend because it's very difficult to take the path. So I'll take the spline. Like this. So this is what the shape is. Now I have to select the first profile, which is this one. Select the first profile. You can go to 3D because it's not visible here. You can see I can go to 3D. So select the first profile, edit profile, give it a shape like this. Then finish. Now select the second profile, edit profile, give it a shape. Let's say I'm going to give a pentagonal shape like this. Then finish it off once, finish it off twice. So it's going to follow circular at this end and pentagonal at this end, and it's going to blend all the way. Whatever the path we have given, the path is going to be blended via this shape. So I'll just give one more example over here. We are trying to have an extrusion like this. And what if we want to have a cut in this extrusion? You can go to edit extrusion anytime and give a cut. All right. It will be looking like this. What if you don't want this method? There is one more method, that is whatever we've seen now until now, this void is the opposite of that. So we have added materials with these commands. These voids will remove the material from these commands. Let's say we are going to remove the material from here. I'll just go for void extrusion. Take a shape, finish it off. As soon as I increase or decrease its range, it's going to cut wherever that shape is there. You can move the shape also like this. So this is nothing but removing the material. The same goes for all the other voids. If you take void blend, it's going to remove the material, but in this format, as you can see in this picture, it's going to remove the material in the shape we have given. And if you take void revolve, it's going to remove the material so if you're not clear, I'll just try to represent that again. So void sweep also the same as you can see in this image. So first they have given a shape, then profile, then they have given the shape for that profile. So it's going to remove the material wherever that shape is going to be followed. Same for void sweep blend. You see, these applications are especially useful when we are making some facades, also some internal interior designs where we are going to channel or give some shapes in the halls or some kind of these applications. These facades are useful, or we may use some certain arches in the interior buildings, right? In such cases, we are going to use this void forms. But in most of the cases, the extrusion and blend and resolve, mostly extrusion, blend and sweep are useful. This sweep will also be useful for the MEP engineers who are going to create pipes and all. For them also, the extrusion is going to be useful. So for example, and I'll just tell one more thing. We have created this particular thing, and let's say this is a light fitting. If you want to give an electrical connection, mostly we don't use this. We will only use this for the MEP services. If you want to give an electrical connection, you can just access this and place it anywhere. But just don't use this option in any architectural template. This is reserved for MEP settings where they have machines and all. For them, they have to give the electrical connections via these options. After you're done with your settings, you can just finish it. So we have a that shape is formed, that shape is unique, and that shape is formed via our model in place. Clear in this one, or do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, audible, right? I just
Yeah, yeah.
said it. So, so, that's what a component in place. Now let's move to some other topic, that is how to create rooms and areas for a building. For that, let me just create some walls here and make sure these walls are traveling to the place where we want. For internal walls, I'm going to select some of lesser thicknesses. Just create some 4 walls like this here. And I want to close this walls completely. Now I've closed it in one direction. If you want to close in both the directions, select, copy, paste, align to selected level, that is next level. So we have closed. So we did not choose this level 2. So we have a finished, yeah, finished room. Now this is a closed surface. These are the closed surfaces. Let me just put the doors also. So this is an entrance for this room. This room, like this. So I've just created a random rooms. Now with this, I want to create a wall or a rooms for individual spaces. So this is a hall, or this is room 1, this is room 2, room 3, and room 4, like that. For that, let me go to rooms option first. Whenever you see a closed surface, this room will appear. So we have 4 different rooms. These rooms you can assign with multiple functions or indications. You can say room 1, or you can just click it and rename it as per your convenience or as per the rooms. Four different kinds of rooms. I'm going to color these rooms as per its requirement or as per its usage. For that, so we have created room. Where can we color? Before that, let me click on this room. Click on this room tag. This is called as tag. As soon as I click on this room tag, I can see I can display room tag with its area. If your room is closed, it's not closed by the way right now because there may be some errors. But if you have a closed room, you can also give room area and volume. Normally it's not necessary. So we'll just go with room tag only, which is what is the number of the room and what is the room's name. In order to like differentiate even better, you can color this room. For that, I'm going to go for manage. Sorry, not manage. I'm going for analyze. In the analyze, we have something called color fill legend. Click on that and you can place it anywhere. Then you have to decide what you are going to fill the colors. You have three options. One is HVAC zones, the other one is rooms, the other one is spaces. We are not going to use HVAC and spaces because they are for Revit MEP. Rooms are only for Revit Architecture. Select that, and you are coloring based on department or name. Because we have names, you can select names, hit OK. So we have 4 different rooms, and each room is colored with a different schema of color. If you want to change the color of individual room, click on that. Just go for edit schema. So we have 4 rooms. These rooms are our own because we've named them, and they are visible. And the color, you can just give any color you like to describe them. Like that, you can just give colors to the room. And in case, for example, this is a room 2. This room is big and you have multiple usages for this room. So same room should be divided into 2 categories. Then you have to select something called room separator. You can just give it like this. Then this room will be separated. This is the same room, but has 2 different spaces. Why do you use this room separator? We use them because, say, for example, this is room 1 and this is room 2. This room 2 is used as a kitchen and as well as a dining. For example, this is an office, and in some offices you might have seen there may be kitchen and there may be dining area. So what happens is there should be a separate cooling requirement for kitchen and also for dining area. Dining area, you may have 2 ACs on 2 sides, but kitchen they have exhausts. So for such requirements, they are going to have room tags or room separators. Again, you can just create one more room here. Room within the room. This room can be renamed and it can has its own functionality. So normally, if you are placing room, it will just select every room into one. You are going to separate again in the individual room. You can use this room separator. You can give the area for the whole building with area plan. So you can see as soon as I hit area, it can show the area of this whole building. In the model, but that is not advisable because these plans we are going to do once we finish our whole project. If you are going for individual rooms, you can just select individual room and calculate them as per your individual rooms design. So whenever you are going to design this particular room, you can measure and you can segregate this room, and based on its requirement, you are going to design its functionality. So these are rooms and room separators. Tagging room is nothing but what we have done here. This is called as tag. This we will see in annotations. Why this tag is important, and that is one of the key component that varies or differentiates from Revit to other softwares. In Revit, you can actually vary it. Like say we have given room, right? The same way we can tag all the elements like this. By seeing the name next or name or number next to an element in the drawing, we will know what it is in the chart. Say there may be a name given like K506 for this. And when you take a reference of K, what is K506 in your sheet, you will know this is a particular door type. This is of its dimension and who is providing this and what is the cost of this. Every information you can pull it off. Same likewise, if you are going to tag something like a room here, as soon as I can tag the room, this room is similar. Of giving this option, you can take this option also. I mean, there is no difference. In rooms, it's automatically tagged. You have to delete that, you can delete. Again, you can place this room tag without calculating or making this as a room. You can just give it like this. But here, you can customize its volume also by checking it. If it is component, if it's not component or computed, it's not going to have a value. For that, it takes a lot, like you have to seal every corner and all. Mostly for architects, it's not useful because the volume and full sealage is used for the systems of the mechanical engineers who are going to design this room for HVAC calculations. Okay. Any doubts in this one? Just for most of the architectural design, just remember you have to take this room option and you can color these rooms as per the requirement. Yeah, any doubt?
No, sir, no doubts. Sir,
No.
how can we give the room dimension in the
Here,
sense 10 by 12 like that? The room dimensions will be there, right?
that we will do in the annotations. This is not annotation. This is just description. Okay.
Okay, okay.
That we will do in the annotations. So here we don't have any like giving an option that is not possible here, but still, if you want to give the dimensions, it's possible. Where in the tags, we have three different types of tags. You can just go to any tag like this. Just double click on that particular tag. You will be greeted with this three items only. If you want to add one more item for that particular label, whatever the label you are loading, just click on it. Go for edit label. So we are having a room number here. Instead of that, you have to check for the length or breadth. If it is not there, you cannot add. So you can see if I take this particular tag, it is not going to give me the length and breadth. You can only add these type of functions for those tagging. So if you want to give the length and breadth over here, you have to go for the annotations and you can just give the annotation or you can just give the text here. This text or this text, whatever the text you like, you can give it over here. Okay.
Okay.
That we will cover in the annotations part. For these room marking and modeling, I think you have to give the color and you can just give the description. And one more thing is, say for example, you have created level 1. You have all the dimensions and all. Now you are going to send this file to interior or you yourself wanted to model this for interior design. You don't have to place everything in the level 1 itself. What you can do is you can duplicate this level. Right click, duplicate view. In the duplication, we have three categories for duplication. One is duplicate, which is normal duplication. The other one is duplicate with detailing. If you're going for duplicate with detailing, what happens is all the annotations and all whatever we duplicate is going to come with duplicate with detailing. Duplicate with dependent is something, whatever we are changing in the first frame or whatever we are changing in the main level, main floor plan, that is going to be copied for the second level, or whatever we are going to second level, it's automatically going to affect the first level. So duplicate as a dependent means you cannot change the actual ones here, and whatever changed in the actual one will be reflected in the dependent one. But we'll go for normal duplicate. So here we have level 1 and level 1 copy. What we do is, if you are going for a level 1 copy for interior, I click it, rename level 1 interior. Here you can place furnitures and all. So here also it's displayed, but what happens, the beauty here is, I'll just go for VG. I'll turn off the furnitures. In this level or in this particular view, if I go to level 1, it will be visible, right? Whatever that I have to do for the interiors, I will do this in this level only. This level I'll keep only for dimensions and all. Likewise, you can create multiple levels and place the same objects or like same descriptions to the plans. What happens with this method is you are not going to be confused, right? Here in this level, you can place all the details, necessary details, where the openings are and where the windows are, and how do you enter the building and the dimensions and all you can give in one plan. The next plan, what you can do is you can just delete or not delete, just hide it in the VG in this plan and highlight what you are going to highlight in this plan. Say, for example, the dimension of the furniture placement and how you are going to enter and where you are going to place the things. And if you want to give description for its materials and all, you can place in this area. This can directly be transferred to the sheet. When we go to sheet, we will know what is the advantage of this method. Okay. So that is what duplicate with detailing and duplicate as a dependent. So if you are duplicating as a dependent, whatever that is there here, it will be minimized, or for this mainly we'll do whenever something is there and that has to be divided into 2 parts or 3 parts. So this duplicate and as a dependent can be decreased in this part. Say you are having a big project and your project has to be shared with multiple people. Then you can use this duplicate as a dependent, wherein this particular person is going to work only this part. Some other person will work on the other part. Later stage, the project manager can merge everything to form a big project. This can also be done with some other option that is called scope box. Okay, what scope box does is, say I'll just open a sample project. So this is a sample project, and I have given 2 parts of this project to 2 persons, 2 people. And for that, I am going to add something called scope box. Scope box can be found in view. Scope box over here. So for example, this part I want to give to some person X. I can just select the range which I want to conclude, and then you have to name it. You can just name that person or just give its dimension. Now this is level, right? If I want to assign this work to that person in the floor plan, so whenever you're not clicking anything, the properties bar will be in default floor plan settings. So if I scroll down, there is something called scope box over here in the extents. As soon as I click the top node, that part will be visible. Now I can send this part to a person who is working on that particular part. You can straight away work on that part. Even if you go to 3D, if you want to see only that part of your building, or if you want to send to him that part of the building, here is in the extents, you have scope box. can select the scope box. So they can see only their part of the building. The rest is omitted. This scope box is not adjustable, so that they can work or fix. They can fix their job properly, and they can send their work to the managers finally, who will assemble all the finished parts together to form a central model. There is one more option, that is we've seen selection, right? So you can select anything. You have this selection up here. Selection box and scope box is different because the selection we can increase or decrease its range. Here we have selected individually, but even though we can increase or decrease its range. So the selection box is not applicable to all the concepts. You are using only selection box whenever you find or try to find an individual project like this. But scope box is used only when the work is being divided between people and you want to restrict someone to certain area. Like Revit has like many big projects can be executed in Revit, and each project, if you take a big company like big architectural firm, anywhere around 30 to 50 people work on the same building. In such cases, scope box will be useful. They will straight away, when they assign the work, they'll form a project template. They'll work out base model or just give the base functionalities, then give the scope boxes, assign the work, and just distribute. After them doing individual work, they can collaborate and make centralized model. That centralized model information is passed, and BIM managers will open the scope box and fit together and start building a 3D model or a complete model. Here, if you want to come out of this section box, as we've seen, uncheck. The same for scope box. If you come out here, if you want to come out of this scope box, you can come. But normally what happens is you will not be accessed for the whole model. Here I'm showing with the whole model. If you are not have the permission for the whole model, you cannot check none over here or uncheck the selection box. That will be locked by the managers with the permissions. So we are not going there, or because we are learning in the simpler terms with one person operation. But in Revit, it is also possible for multiple person operation, and also the manager can restrict what we are going to do and what we cannot do with the permissions. Okay. So I'll just end today's session.